All right, y'all, time for part 3 of my story. Continuing on where we left off, we're continuing on, through COVID and the whole pandemic, and things seem like they're kind of starting to improve. I actually moved to Tennessee in the middle of the pandemic, so that was interesting. So just when things feel like, they're starting to get better and improving, then the Delta wave and that whole variant hits. And I was already at a hospital that really wasn't that well staffed, and so with the worker shortages getting worse, the hospital was just like essentially completely overrun. And then they start bringing in, again, travel nurses and all of that stuff, which doesn't make sense to me why you don't just pay your own people more and then you pay travel nurses more than what you're paying the doctors. Sometimes I found out. So not to say that nurses don't deserve it, not at all. They definitely do, but really we all should have gotten a little bit more during that whole ordeal. But again, people are getting sick and people are dying once again, and you just start getting to know, a lot of people and like talking to them when they're going through these hard times, when you're in the hospital. And so one common denominator I found is that everyone had regrets, right? And, whether that was I didn't get to spend enough time with my family, or I didn't get to travel, or I didn't, take the leap and open my own business or do something like that. It's like they're all on, feeling like they're on their deathbed. Some of them are. And the last thing that they can even remember or talk about sometimes is work. And it's like sometimes they came to the hospital from work, like working themselves to death. And it's like a lot of them said, I wish that I hadn't taken this time for granted. And so that was my second aha moment when I decided, I have to live a life with no regrets, right? It's time to build my own dream and not work to build someone else's, right? And so after that is when I decided to, make sure that I would have the capability to show my family the world. The hours and years spent training for medicine don't mean a whole lot if you're not able to really enjoy the benefits of, the financial successes and the things that come along with it. Some people in my profession, yes, they enjoy their job and they feel like they have all the flexibility and freedom that they need financially and otherwise, but that just wasn't and isn't the case for me currently. And so, I knew I wanted a family and I wanted kids, and I wanted to make sure I was going to have the capability to show them culture and travel the world and do all of those things. And I just knew I wasn't in a place to do that. So after that point, I took some time off and I traveled the world. So I did it. I actually achieved my goal of going somewhere new every month for a year. Some months I went more than one new place. And that was an adventure that I so enjoyed. And it was so interesting seeing other cultures and how different they are from America, where we don't worship work, or they don't worship work. And it's more about spending time with family, taking advantage of the time you have, enjoying life and living life to the fullest. And so, that's when I decided, my mental health, my life, my sanity, my future family was all the most important thing in my priority at that point. Every time I came back from traveling, it was like the same question over and over, like, is this worth it? And to me, it just isn't. And so, I come back and my fiance and I, we decided to make a move to be closer to family because we were looking at starting a family, which we now have. Yay. We sat down and he knew how unhappy I was, and we made the decision to take the leap and open our own business. And so we opened Club Movement, which you should go follow, and I will tag it here for you guys, so make sure you go tag and follow us. But we opened our own fitness and wellness center, which is really important to me as kind of a passion project. I want to see people walk into my studio and not walk into my ER. And so I really see it as preventative medicine. I want to clarify that I'm not leaving medicine completely. This is my exit strategy from the hospital primarily, and I still plan to use my license and do other things with it. And this is one of those things. I'm going to stop there for today because part 4 will kind of dive into how wild and crazy of a roller coaster this has been since I opened my own business. And not to say that I don't love it, but it's put me in a place now where I am looking at other things as well. And so I want to share that all with you guys. And in part 4, we're going to dive into how that journey has been and what other strategies that I'm using now to pursue a slightly different lifestyle that will continue to improve. So stay tuned. Part 4. I think that might be the final one, but we'll see. These tend to get a little long, so hopefully you guys are following along. Remember to drop 4 in the comments if you're ready to see the next one. Thanks for following, guys.